OP drops the dinner on the ground and walks out when her boyfriend said this. Here's the full story. I was over my boyfriend's apartment this weekend, and I was cooking dinner because he was studying for exams. I made pasta and a chunky sauce with meatballs and veggies. I told him dinner was ready and he goes, "What's for dinner tonight, tramp?" With like a lot of emphasis on the last word. I was fed up. I'd had a pretty rough day with work and I have some awfully bad associations with that word being used by other people in my life who were pretty abusive. So I was so irritated that I dropped the pot of pasta sauce I'd been carrying right on the ground and was like, "Well, nothing's for dinner tonight now. And I better not hear you using that word again. It's for the girls." He was freaking out about how sauce had landed on his rug and he even said, "You're seriously acting like a tramp right now? I dunno what else to call it." I just walked out and got takeout for myself and went to my friend's house. She thought it was funny, but my boyfriend was furious. He kept texting and calling and sending me voice memos trying to explain that saying "what's for dinner tonight, tramp" was a TikTok trend, and that he was just quoting something as a joke to put on TikTok. I thought that was the crappiest excuse ever. It doesn't matter if he saw it as a joke or stole the joke, it was still disrespectful. But it didn't change the fact he thought that crap was funny, to demean me when I was trying to do him a favor. Like hell, I came over when he was studying to make a home-cooked dinner, and he decides it's time for jokes. So I put my phone on don't disturb for the night and split a bottle of wine with my friend and her roommate. The next morning he was sending me angry texts demanding I clean his rug because he was too busy with exams to do it. I was shocked he left it overnight. That's disgusting. I texted him back saying, "Yeah, so that's the tramp tax, honey. Leave me alone till you're ready to handle your own cooking and cleaning because this tramp isn't anymore. Also, it's vile you left that soaking in all night." He called me and told me that he was okay with doing his own household work. But I did throw a full pot of sauce at the ground, so that's on me to clean up. I told him, "Yeah, no, I'm not comfortable doing chores for you if you see me like your tramp." He told me he didn't, and it was just a trend. And I got pissed off he was playing the TikTok trend. BS excuse again, and I told him, "Well, I'm starting a trend called saucing, where as a little joke people throw pasta sauce around. You can't be mad because it's just a little trend, a little jokey joke, just a little prank, bro." He got really pissed off and hung up on me, and now I'm seriously wondering if this dumb effing TikTok joke is gonna be the end of things between us. Am I the idiot for how I reacted? Sounds like OP was definitely seeing red. My husband and I tease each other all the time, but we also have a clearly unspoken line that we don't cross, and it comes somewhere before calling each other names like this. I was completely wrong when I thought OP overreacted. She has a right to be respected by her boyfriend, and he's clearly failing to do so. Not the idiot. And yes, your comeback was so on point. I would have thought about it after 6 months. Truly iconic. I'm really shocked that he didn't apologize, get you flowers, and beg you to take him back. Dump his back just like the sauce. I googled the trend, and it is all about seeing how women react to a knowingly offensive comment. And usually, they are offended. These jokes aren't funny. Well, you reacted. He got his wish, effed around and found out. He needs to grow up. That was 100% not part of the trend, and he was just salty he didn't get to laugh at her getting offended from his high horse. Because it actually affected him, in that he didn't get dinner, and there's marinara sauce all over his rug. Like seriously, he left sauce on the floor overnight in his apartment for her to clean up. What's he gonna be like if they stay together? Like one day she gets home from work and the baby has sat in its own crap all day and he's like, "Oh, it's your baby. You had him, you changed his diaper." Or, "Oh, you left dishes in the sink after cooking. I'm not cleaning them up. I didn't make the mess." I love your whole energy and vibe. Don't go back to him. He had enough time to say a simple word, "Sorry." He didn't. Shows you what kind of person he is. If he was really sorry, he would have sincerely apologized. He would have cleaned up and ordered takeout as an act of contrition. He would have listened to why you're upset and learned from it. Maybe gotten flowers too. There's 2 red flags here, calling you a tramp and dying on the hill of refusing to fully acknowledge the issues involved. I told my friend her boyfriend is planning to propose. Here's the full story with an update. My 27 female best friend has been dating her boyfriend 26 male for over 5 years. A while back he reached out to me to help figure out ring size and the setup so he could make this the most magical day for her. Having known my friend for over 20 plus years, I know exactly how she wants her proposal to go and who she wants to be there, so I relayed all this information to him months ago via texts and over the phone. I even took the time to covertly find and confirm which ring she would love the most. A little background. My friend is incredibly family and friend-oriented, and in the past expressed to me on multiple occasions, especially during holiday season, that in the 5 years they've been together, he hasn't really made much of an effort to indoctrinate himself into her family or friendships the way she has for his. While I do generally like him, I have always felt that he is incredibly self-serving and self-focused. Recently, through a mutual friend, I found out he started a group text between his, emphasis on his, friends and his family to set up the time and date of the proposal. He has not only excluded myself, and according to the screenshots I've seen, he is doing everything verbatim I suggested he do, but he has completely excluded her family and other close friends from the event. He is planning on only having his boys and family present for the occasion, and knowing my friend this would ultimately break her heart not being able to share this moment with her loved ones. I got heated and called him. At first he was dodging my questions, then just outright said this is my proposal and I've spent enough time and money to choose how I do it. Just be happy for your friend. It's not like you're not coming to the wedding. This infuriated me, and to make matters worse, I ran into her mom and dad at the grocery store and subtly asked if they knew of any possibility she was getting engaged. They were unaware, and I know for a fact my friend has told him that he needs to ask her parents for their blessing. She's somewhat traditional. My friend wears her heart on her sleeve, and I can predict how this event will go down when she sees all of his close friends and family and none of hers. Considering her previous sentiments about his lack of interest in her family life, she will 100% see this as being hurtful and selfish, and I know she'll cry. To make matters worse, the location of the proposal is a whopping 30 minutes from her parents' home. I don't want to get involved in a fight or reveal the surprise, but on the other hand I feel I owe it to my lifelong friend to help her avoid being hurt and disappointed, maybe even helping her rethink what her future would look like with someone who just doesn't really appreciate what she values in life. So, am I the idiot if I tell my friend her boyfriend is going to propose? Do not tell her. As much as you know her and want this proposal to go as planned, it is ultimately up to her boyfriend how he wants to do it. If your friend is disappointed, then that can be her sign to discuss with her fiancé about moving forward. It is not your place to tell her or intervene at this point. Don't tell your friend. I completely understand why you want to, but hear me out. Let this dude show his true colors. If you get in the middle you may seem petty and jealous. Let him propose his way, and when your friend comes to you and complains, you can kindly and gently tell her that you tried to get him to incorporate her friends, family. Then you can gently ask her if she wants to spend the rest of her life with a man who doesn't honor her wants, desires. I repeat, just let this play itself out. Would be the idiot if you interfere prior to the proposal. I don't think you should tell her. Would be the idiot if you ruin the surprise. However, this is a CYA situation. Write him a heartfelt letter about the proposal. You would be sending the email to him, but really you're writing to your friend, because this is the letter you want to show her after the proposal so she knows exactly what kind of person she's with. Mention that you're so happy he reached out to you to get her the ring she loves. It's very important that you sound very supportive of their relationship. Do not let even an ounce of frustration show. Emphasize how much her family means to her and how she'll be absolutely heartbroken if they're excluded. Tell him there's time to fix it. Write it for your friend's eyes. Then when your friend comes crying to you and wonders if she should forgive him for not knowing how important these things were to her, you can give her definitive proof that he did know and he didn't care. Update. So on Saturday, the day of the proposal, I got a call from her boyfriend. He was screaming at me, blaming me for not showing up, uninvited still, to the proposal with her parents because she was upset they weren't there. I was effing slack-jawed. I told him I knew this would happen, and he says verbatim, "You just admitted you knew this would happen. So if you knew the whole time and you actually cared about her, you would have invited them." I was gobsmacked and hung up on him. Not even an hour later I get a call from her asking me to come to her parents. According to her, this is how the situation played out. He popped the queue. She said yes, and the people he invited popped out from hiding. She was bombarded by 4 of his guy friends: his mom, dad, older brother, and his sister-in-law. His parents were holding a sign that read, "Welcome to the family. Mrs. Insert his last name here, and this is where things go downhill." I did not know this before, and I thought I knew everything. But my friend doesn't want to change her last name, and she's told him that repeatedly since they got together. She's an only child from a Ukrainian family, and with everything going on with Ukraine in the last year, she's doubled down. When she saw the sign, she joked, "Mrs. his last name. I think you mean Mrs. her last name." Everyone went silent until his mom said, "Well, the ring is already engraved. No changing it now." She takes the ring off and sees his last name engraved on the band. Then she asked if her parents were coming. He gave every excuse. He didn't have their number. There were too many people there. He wanted to keep it private and eventually said, "This was my proposal to you and now my family is your family. We can just send your parents the pictures later." She took the ring off and left. That's when I'm assuming I got that call from him. She went straight to her parents. She asked them about the engagement. They were clueless. She then asked if I knew anything. I asked if she was in the right place. She said she was, so I told her I would answer any question she had rather than dumping everything on her. She was upset but thanked me. She was furious when I told her about the call from him earlier and said, "Does he really think I'm that shallow?" She said it wasn't about having a perfect proposal or her parents there. It was about him making the whole thing about himself as always, and she was done feeling ignored and belittled. So this was her breaking point. She's staying with her parents currently and has been receiving texts from him. The worst one so far is him telling her she has to pay him back for the ring and for ruining his life. Right now, all I can do is be here for her, and whatever decision she makes, I will fully support because, as you've all helped me realize, this isn't about me, it's about her. Not my monkey, not my circus. I don't think you are codependent or nosy, but I also know from just years of life experience that unfortunately sometimes we have to let our loved ones learn the hard way, and there is only so much we can do. I think you handled it the best way you could have, and learned some things about yourself in the process. It was a tough spot to be in, and I would find it hard not to overstep also. Bottom line, you are a good friend and she's lucky to have you in her corner. Thank you so much.